What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, January 17th of 2017. It's episode 80 of This Isn't Cereal on My Bowl, and let's start the show. Hit it, baby Dave. And welcome to another Solo Ian show. Matt's away today, guys, but I'm here to give you the business. And the business is, I'm getting old. I don't enjoy things like I used to. And it's sad. I went to Circa Survive's On Letting Go 10th anniversary tour at the second night at Webster Hall last night with Laurel. And first off, we got there late, which is okay. You know, we missed most of Turnover's set. We saw like the last three songs, which were really dope. The sound was already like, I already knew listening to Turnover, I was like, the sound's gonna be subpar tonight. And then Me Without You comes on, and his clean microphone cuts out half the set, and the sound still just like it's like empty sounding almost. So that was frustrating, but they played a pretty awesome set. From A to B Life all the way to Pale Horses. They did February 1878, which was awesome. And then Circa, comes out and they have these two huge balloons that have projector screens going on them and doing a bunch of different graphic designs, different effects, and the On Letting Go balloons and different like chemicals in and out of chemicals and statues explode in different images. Very dope. The lighting was really cool, but we were so far back, and where we were positioned, we were by the merch table. So people were just pushing, just constantly going to the front, back from the front, side to side, constant loss of engagement. And the lights were like kind of there because of the merch, and people were talking the whole time, which I don't understand how you could spend $40 a ticket and just talk. But it was just constant loss of engagement, and then Circa comes out, and they did so good. Anthony Green is literally on the top of his game. They didn't play a new song, and I was kind of bummed about that, but I'm really pumped for the new album. And it was a pleasure being there to witness them playing On Letting Go and the two B-sides, 1,000 Witnesses and The Most Dangerous Commercials. It was pretty cool. But I could see Stephen Clifford playing the drums. The sound was so... It was weird because it wasn't like everything was there, but it was just so empty. Like, you didn't get hit. Like, you couldn't feel the sound. Like, I go to a show to feel the sound. I wanted to feel like I just took like a handful of some mind-altering thing that's just going to make me just feel Anthony Green. Like, I'll feel his vocals on the tips of my fingers, but maybe that was there, and I've lost, different hearing abilities. Maybe I just lost that wave form. I don't know. Maybe I need to buy reserved seats up in balconies and get good spots, good seats where no one will touch Laurel and I, because we were just little miserable messes. And I'm trying to put a positive spin on it because it was a great thing that I could go to the show, and it's great that Circa Survive is doing it. They've done it for this long, and they're still so great, and the same guys, and they're best friends, and they're humble, and I respect Anthony Green so much and all of them. Colin, Brendan, Steven, and Nick. On Letting Go is one of my favorite albums of all time. Letting the Vinyl Go was the hardest thing. I did all that. Ask Laurel, I probably walked away from the merch table a few times, and she forcibly tried to pull me to the merch table at the end, and I was like, no, we gotta go. Shouldn't spend the money. So that was my Sunday night. I just hate Webster Hall. I don't know if do I enjoy going to shows anymore? I'm only 24. I should. I went to a show at Shea Stadium earlier in the week, and that was so crowded, and I don't know. Maybe it's me and crowds. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little cynical bitch, but no one likes a little bitch. so I should probably stop. Um, Cool thing though, I did whip out this Living in the Past vinyl I got from this Goodwill Butler Goodwill find like 2 years ago. I went to Goodwill for some reason. I don't. It was not to get records, and I went to just this one little crate they have at the Butler Goodwill, and it was like someone just emptied out their entire collection. I got so many records for $1 each, and one of them was Living in the Past, and I finally put it on. It has this whole colored pictured booklet in it with Ian and the boys, and it's a double LP, and me and Laurel listened to the side 1 and 2 of it, which had I need to research. I'm not sure if Living in the Past is an album, or if it's like a compilation, or if it's like a half studio, half live album. I probably should figure that before I came on here and talked, but I saw it sitting on my table before I started, and I was like, I'm going to talk about that, because it was really enjoyable. Living in the Past was obviously on it. It was on their greatest hits that I listened to growing up. It's another song that's on side B or side 2 that I recognize. But just with like the mix of like jazz, prog rock and roll. Jethro Tull was a cool band. My dad told me one time he saw me. I'd have him on and tell all these his old concert going stories. But he saw Jethro Tull and they were on a pirate ship that rocked back and forth. It was a whole theatrical show. Yeah, again, he just celebrated his birthday this last weekend. So happy birthday, Dad. I love you bunches. Yeah, but I listened to Living in the Past, and I've been listening to the new Bonobo, which I'm going to review here in a little bit. But also, the XX released a new album. And the Flaming Lips released a new album, but I didn't listen to it, and I find it hard to listen to the Lips, because I don't know, it's not that I find it hard, but I don't know what I should like about it. But I like a few songs. I don't know. I skipped the Flaming Lips this week, but I did check out most of the new XX album. I See You, and I do see you, XX. And part of me really, 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 really loves what they do. I love Jamie XX. I don't know his like full name, but like I love his production. And I think the guy and the girl have two good voices that work well off each other. But then in the same vein of that, I listen. I'm like, I'm annoyed already by this vocal line or this melody. So it's like half of me like loves the XX, and then there's this other half of me that's like, I kind of hate the XX. So I'm very conflicted about them. But I the first two songs, Dangerous and Say Something Lovely, I think it's called, or just Say Something, like flow flawlessly, and they're two really solid tracks. And I think the first single was called On Hold, and the he want you, do what you do, whatever that little sample is really cool. I'll definitely revisit the album, and I'll probably regret that I didn't actually review it. Tentatively right now, I'm giving it like a solid, like, I'll give it like a 2.8 to 3 out of 5, which sounds not that great, but that's a good rating, people. It is. 2.5 is average, 3 is good, blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, how about we? I'll give you some news, and then I'm gonna review some Bonobo migration, and then maybe a special phone call from someone. I don't know. This is just me doing this thing today. It could get crazy. All right, let's talk about some news.
Being as an Ocean released a new single.
Very underrated drummer of the great underrated Yesterday and Today, YT, Leonard Hayes, passed away.
That had one of two outcomes.
But you know what? I think we need to get into it. The news. All right. Apparently, Urban Myths, a television show, I believe on MTV, I might be wrong, just dropped an episode that had Michael Jackson. It was called Elizabeth, Michael, and Marlon. And the actor playing Michael Jackson's name was Joseph Fiennes, or Fiennes. I don't know how to say it. I believe he was Shakespeare and Shakespeare in Love. And they dropped the episode because he was playing Michael Jackson. And he is a white man. And I did not play well with Paris Jackson and other people. And I agree. Like, what the fuck? What are you thinking? It's too soon, and It's Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Like, you should get a white guy. I mean, I don't know if this dude who's gonna be playing him in a new movie or something. He's like a Michael Jackson impersonator guy. I don't know if he's white, but apparently people are cool with that. But they were not cool with Joe doing this at all. And apparently it had Marlon Brando and Elizabeth Taylor also. Because apparently this is a crazy story, and I definitely want to look into it more. But apparently, after 9/11, Michael Jackson tried to do this road trip with Elizabeth Taylor and Marlon Brando from New York to LA. I don't know, to, I don't know, spread love or something. But this is such a cool idea. Like, these famous people are friends, and the fact that it's like Michael Jackson, Marlon Brando, and Elizabeth Taylor, which, like, they would have been famous around the same time. It makes sense that they're friends, but that trio in a road trip together is like, I want to see that episode. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. In other news, the new Zelda trailer came out last week. Something, the Wowed. Uh, I'm not a big video gamer. I have been playing quite a bit of Madden for some odd reason. I don't know why. I've been playing Madden way too much. Uh, it looks so good. Like, the animation style is very light and looks very vast. And I want a Switch. I want a Nintendo Switch. And I don't have the money for a Nintendo Switch. Maybe that's what happens. You grow up, you start to be like, oh, I don't like crowds and people. I don't want to go to shows. Oh, hey, video games. I never have to leave my apartment. Oh, sad things. Becoming so antisocial, world. This is horrible. I used to be so social. Yeah. Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus is dead. They are closing. They had a lot of strife with animal rights organizations past years, and I think they took the elephants off the road, and sales plummeted. So no more circus. But if I can be honest, I never went to the circus, and I never wanted to go to the circus. Clowns are creepy. What if the tent fell down and killed me? What if the elephant went berserk, stomped and killed me? Apparently Disney says they will not recreate Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, CGI. So that will be very curious to see how that pans out in the series. I mean, her legacy and respecting her is more important than movies. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. The world's such a gray area. It should be more important. It should be more important. Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor have been rumored. Well, not rumored, but money has been floating around, and people have been wanting these two to fight. And I've been reading up on this all weekend, and I've been talking to some people about it, and I don't know how I feel about this. A lot of people wouldn't know this, but I grew up watching boxing and stuff, so I have a little bit of a knowledge and background, and I'm a light fan. I don't watch very often, and UFC even less so. But I know of Conor McGregor, the little fighting Irishman, the shit talker, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is like surpassed Ali with smack talking and shit talking. But I mean, both undefeated. I don't know how you would put these two together. I don't know how you would face them off. I think Floyd Mayweather would dominate him boxing, but Conor would dominate him mixed martial arts. So to me, it just seems this is one of those just stupid, like, deadliest warrior situation. Put them together. Like, how do you compare? I think you'd have to have two fights. You'd have to have a boxing one and a mixed martial arts one, or maybe kickboxing, where you let Floyd Mayweather train for a year kickboxing. I don't know. I don't think it's a fair matchup, personally. But that's just me, I guess. I don't know. In other news, I just watched this hilarious video of Action Bronson on Seth Meyers making these burgers with black truffle and then making it rain white truffle over Seth Meyers as he ate Haagen-Dazs ice cream. It was a wonderful way to start my morning and gave me the kick I needed to record this. It was quite hilarious. I'd recommend everybody watching it and put a smile on my face. It's like 5 minutes, but it's worth the watch. All right, that's all I got news. So, Simon Green, English born, now living in LA. Also goes by the name of Bonobo. Just came out with his sixth album, Migration. Cover artwork is done by Niel Krug, who's worked on with Jim James. He did his latest album, Eternal Even, which was a criminally underrated album of last year. Um, My Morning Jacket's last album, Waterfall, I believe it's called. The First Aid Kid, Boards of Canada, Lana Del Rey, LA-based photographer. One of my best bud Whitey is one of his favorite photographers. He turned me on to him, and you could just go look at the Migration album cover. It's like apparently it's really close to where he lives in L.A., so somewhere in California. We're looking at caverns, but it's like this cavern shot with like an open to the sky in the middle with a bush. There's some shadows, looks like rock shadows, and there's a bush with fire coming out of it. Looks like nowhere, maybe digitally added. And then there's just like this perfect like tower of clouds, almost like smoke coming off from the fire, and oh, it's so crisp. And then like the rest of the photo series he did for this album is amazing with like different colored smoke in the desert and stuff. It's really really cool. And one thing about Bonobo is he always matches his artwork like perfectly with the music. Like you look at North Borders, and that album cover just like I don't know, it just takes you to a cold place, and that's what that album. It's a very winter album for me. So yeah, Niel Krug worked on that. So Migration came out last Friday. It's the first Bonobo album since North Borders. That's 3 years ago, and was reading up a bunch of interviews and stuff. And this was recorded in transit, a lot in between tours, on tour, moves from the UK to NYC to LA, having different residencies at like the Output, which is a club in New York. So doing more DJing work and the touring with the full band stuff. You get a lot of those different sounds interplaying, and it makes sense because this album's kind of like the study of people and spaces, and the study of how people can move from different cultures and different places and take little snippets and little bits from each place and morph that into their culture, and in turn more bringing that into the culture around them, and how the spaces and the people and the places and everything kind of form in and out of each other, and this weird evolution kind of thing. And it's really dope, and he totally accomplishes it, and he totally accomplishes it with like the songs. Each song almost, not that it builds off each other, but different sounds from past songs will kind of come into play. Like a great example is the beginning, do 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 do. That like string and Break Apart is very reminiscent, at least to me. The beginning chopped up string of the first single, the eighth track, Kurala. Even like Outlier, and when it gets all dancey again in I believe 7/7's, kind of reminiscent, just the clubbiness, the houseness of that houseness. Yeah, and it's one of those like it's a grower, definitely. Like the first listen, you're like, all right, this is Bonobo doing his thing. Then you read a little bit up on it, and you listen a little more, and you're like, okay, so what we got here is we have a Simon Green who was very production DJ focused brain, doing a lot of DJ work and being on tour. So you got tracks like Outlier, the third track, which is 8 minutes long, and it's goes in and out of different phases of the song where it's beginning very Bonobo, North Bordersy kind of. It's definitely clubby, definitely dancey, and then it just breaks into this like John Hopkins glitchy kind of like synth all, and then just straight into like totally like, man, I should be on the dance floor right now. And he does that a few times in the album. Definitely like it's it's more dancey. It's like that. It's like, oh well, they're going a more produced mainstream route. It's like, no, it's like Bonobo went definitely way more like clubbier, dancier, but like in the best Bonobo way possible. It totally works. And I was a little like apprehensive of it in the beginning, but like I've totally let loose, let it on me, and I was like, man, this is what people should be dancing to. And like it's awesome that he took like just what was inspiring or what he was doing at the time, What also is cool to know is that a lot of the times he's been writing with a full band and stuff, recording, and I don't know if he did it with anything. I don't think so because he didn't say so in the interview, but he said that he switched to using Ableton and just samples and stuff like that for this. So that makes it really interesting for me listening to the album and thinking, well, this is all Simon like just putting it together from what he had in his computer. Half the drum beats are like, I don't know. I think maybe he got that dude who's always recording with him because it sounds so real. And the piano, well, definitely he played the piano stuff, but the piano line in the first song, Migration, after everything builds up and the bass kicks in and the drums kick in and all the synths are there, there's just this piano line that just keeps going. And it just sounds like throughout all of this noise and everything, there's just one person just relentlessly playing this organic acoustic piano and be like, I will be heard. And that was like the first instance of the mix, the evolution, you know, of different cultures, electronic and organic on the album. It was awesome. Yeah, so the first song, Migration, totally lays down the groundwork for what's to come. The next song is Break Apart, which features Ray's Michael Milosh. I think I'm saying that correctly. Which, coincidentally enough, there's a few people featured on this album real quick. Him, who's from Canada and recorded his vocals in Berlin. Nick Murphy, a.k.a. Chet Faker, who's Australian. Nicole Miglis from 100 Waters, who's from Florida. Ino of Ghana, I think I'm saying that right, I don't know, is a Moroccan band based in NYC. So that's just a quick fact to show you that how, like, the migration, the mix of cultures, all these people from different places coming together and affecting in a different way, like, totally, like, the song Surface totally could be a 100 Waters song, you know what I mean? It's really interesting. But anyway, so this is the first introduction I've had to Michael Milosh, or Milosh, or however you say it. I never listened to Ray or anything, and honestly, I thought it was a female. I'm blown away by this guy's voice. Blown away. He fantastic. And Bonobo never fails. So mostly it's, no narrative. It's instrumental. It's whatever you take from it, kind of music, electronic, trip hoppy, trancey, house, whatever. But he always has at least 4 or 5 songs off the album that are featured some kind of vocalist in the past. I can never say her last name, but she's all on Black Sands. Erica Badu's on North Borders. Gray Reverend's on North Borders. But this time, those people I just said, and this Michael dude. Oh, my point. I lost my point. My point is there's always like one line that I take from a Bonobo lyric. Like North Borders was Heaven for the Sinners. Like there's always one Bonobo, like one song, one line I'll take out of it. And this time it is the line, "You're my favorite. You're my favorite, but we're phasing. But we're phasing." And it just repeats that. And like with the horns going on, it's like that last year I talked about explosions in the sky in tangible formations when the horns come in. This is that moment, but on a Bonobo album. It's really, really, really cool. Fantastic song. Outlier, of course, is awesome. Just clubber house jam. Very trancy, building synth lines. Get you on the dance floor. And then we have Grains, which is just like take me back to the North Borders. Slow it up, very reflective, very trancy. And another great example of the great Simon Green Bonobo vocal samples that he just has in some file on his hard drive or computer. Is just like, let me touch those samples. Let me know what you do. Second Son is an amazing song. I love when you could hear the upright bass in a song, and you could hear the upright bass in this song. Surface featuring Nicole from 100 Waters is amazing. Like, she has the most angelic high range. It's so good. Next, which is, it's not my words, David McCandless's song of the year so far. We have Bambro Koyo Ganda. Great group vocals. This is featuring that Moroccan band. And it's so cool to see just like this very organic, just like group chanting, singing style in this electronic song, and then to morph around that and to keep building, and just like at one point the vocals drop and it just goes right back into another example of getting back into the migration of cultures and sounds, coming back from this very organic thing right back to a clubby glitchy thing, much like Outlier. Very dope song. Probably that Break Apart are probably my two favorite songs off the album. The strings are so good, very lush, very Black Sands reminiscent. Then we have next is the eighth track, Kerala, the first single, which I found out actually has a Brandy sample. All those like cut up like ooze and stuff towards the middle and stuff. That's Brandy. Isn't that neat? I think Brandy and Bonobo should collab, honestly. Next is Ontario, which is like, can we just talk about how Simon Green could totally like soundtrack like French noir films or like 60s style, like you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Black and white. You know what I'm talking about. He could totally soundtrack that. And Ontario could totally be one of those. It just has a vibe to it. You got to listen to it. It has a vibe to it. We have No Reason, which features. Why don't I listen to Chet Faker? Sorry to interrupt myself, but why don't I? Nick Murphy's voice is awesome, and if his music had anything to do with how the song sounded, then I want to listen to his music because it's a really dope song. Why don't I listen? Totally, I don't know why, but I think of you, David McCandless, every time I hear of the looking like soldiers waiting to drown. Just how he sings that line, the whole vibe of it, very dope. And then we get two more like instrumental songs to end out the album. We get Seventh Sevens, which is like one last clubber, one last dancey song, more upbeat, Bonobo. And then we get Figures, which slows it a little bit. Very trancey strings all throughout. And it's still dancey, but it's, more on the reflective side. And just bringing the culmination of all the sounds we had toward the end. It's a fantastic album, and I feel like I'm not even doing it justice with everything I'm saying. I think the best way for you to know is just to listen to it, see what you take from it, and then maybe from that you can, I don't know, that will influence something that you do in your day or for the rest of your life, and then that is exactly what Simon Green was going for. I know ever since I heard Black Sands back in 2011 or 2012, I've never been the same. That like blew, like that and Tycho. I was like, whoa, electronic music is actually cool. You can do really cool things, and it's not just like bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? It's not ripping off artists, and it's not ripping off musicians, and you're not losing anything from sampling or anything like that. Yeah, Bonobo was huge for me. Huge for me. So all in all, I think I'm going to give Bonobo, I'm going to do a 4.7. I know I said I wasn't going to do a weird point system. It was going to be 0.5 or bust, but I'm going to go 4.7 out of 5. Bonobo Migration. Fantastic album. I hope it lasts. I hope it has staying power. I hope I see this in my top 10 at the end of the year. All right. Well, I think that's all I got for you guys, and I think I got a phone call from David Beck coming in. Whoa, I'm gonna take this. Let's see what David Beck has to say. Hello, David Beck.
Hello, how's it going, homie?
Welcome to the show. It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just had a busy weekend, so Martin Luther King Jr. really pulled through for getting my day off today.
MLK.
But MLK, man.
Happy day.
Happy day, definitely.
Why was your weekend busy? Tell me about it. Talk to me.
Well, on Friday, I had the pleasure of seeing Run the Jewels, RTJ, in Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
It was a sold-out Stage AE crowd, and if you're not familiar with Stage AE, it has like a capacity of like 1,000 people, so there was a fuck ton of people there representing. And
Did you go solo?
no, me, Nick Farrar, and Ricky.
Nick Farrar.
Yeah, and my friend Ricky Mitica. were able to go. We ended up seeing the whole show. It was actually kind of weird because the show was initially doors were supposed to open at 7 and music was supposed to start at 8, which is, a typical show. Well, they pushed all of that back an hour, and I'm thinking to appease, like, the drinking crowd, you know what I mean? So music didn't start till 9 p.m., which, in some cases kind of sucks, obviously. But it was a Friday night, and everyone was there to have a good time. So, by the time Run the Jewels came on at 11:15, we were all ready to party, And there was a lot less drunk idiots there than I thought there would be. And the show was phenomenal. I mean, Run the Jewels, the energy that they brought to that crowd. I mean, I was jumping up and down with my hands raised in the air for about 95% of the concert. And
that's sick.
Yeah, and like their set list was brilliant. It was the majority of it was a good mix, like a really solid mix of RTJ3 and RTJ2, which are their two most popular. And then they had like a few singles sprinkled in here and there from just the random singles they have been releasing, like the one with DJ Shadow and the one that was on.
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah, the one that they did for Adult Swim, etc. I don't know. So I wasn't as familiar with the single, obviously, but they closed with a song off of the first. It's actually their title track, "Run the Jewels." They played that song last, and it was an invigorating concert. It was amazing. I mean, and they were just saying stuff that were getting people, like they were saying things that I think amped up the energy a lot. Like, I mean, obviously they're a very political act. So when they were saying, when they took a break to talk about, LP started saying, like, we're all here as, this whole last year has been rough, but, like, there's a lot of hope in this room because, I take it that we're selling all these shows out, which means there's a lot of people who feel the same way we do. And he's like, and that is that there's a lot of evil motherfuckers, trying to take over our society and blah, blah, blah. And then they went into Lie, Cheat, Steal, which was really sick. Like, people just went wild for that song. And,
nice.
it was just
nice.
It was an all-around great time. It was amazing. So, and then
damn, who opened?
Gangsta Boo opened, who used to be she's in that one Love Again song, and actually they played that. I stick I stick my clit in his mouth all day.
Yeah,
and it was that girl rapper who opened.
Thank you, David Beck. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and the next act after that was this guy named Gaslamp Killer, and his DJ set was phenomenal. I thought he did a great job. There was a lot of hype about his set as well. So
yeah.
He was phenomenal. He was mixing in Death Grips. He was mixing in all kinds of different stuff. So he really was a good opener in terms of getting the crowd prime for RTJ, But
nice.
Yeah, and other than that, RTJ was great. The show went on until 1 in the morning.
Damn.
And we got out of there, and Nick Farrar wanted to walk through the McDonald's drive-thru, which was unsuccessful. It was very unsuccessful.
Was this an intoxicated Nick Farrar?
I think he was slightly intoxicated, but I think, honestly, he was sober, but he was just truthfully very hungry. Like, he just was trying his hardest to get McDonald's. He really wanted it.
This is great.
Yeah, and,
Nick.
And then Saturday, I did a lot of planning for bands and stuff. I did a lot of manager kind of stuff, because we're self-managed and everything. And I did all that. We went to an art show, and then we were able to solidify a lineup for a show we're putting on February 18th with Slow Danger, a local act from Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And they're like a phenomenal trip-hop. They perform. They do dance art like during their performance, and they're phenomenal. And that lineup will also include Carter, formerly known as Soul Persona, and another act that I
Nice.
that it's going to be
He's been on the show.
Carter. Yeah, he's been on the show. He's working on some really gnarly stuff right now as well. New material. Slow Danger has a new album coming out in 2017. We're also
Nice.
for that show. We're also including visuals by Gage Martin. He's going to get like a projector and do lights for the show. So it should be a really cool experience, and that's happening.
Nice.
That's happening at the workshop on Penn Avenue. Like 5 buildings down from Roboto, and it should be
Nice.
a really good time. And we were able to solidify that. And then, yesterday we were recording for the Portrait People EP, and we also solidified all of that. That's going to be announced eventually. But the EP is like very done, like it's almost done. It's on the brink of. We just need vocals and just a few more auxiliary things, and then it's good to mix and master. So it's pretty crazy, and that's just what I've been up to this weekend, man. RTJ was phenomenal, though. That was definitely the highlight of my weekend. It was great.
That's awesome, man. Sounds like you had a pretty busy, fun-filled weekend. Can I get your opinion on the Bonnaroo lineup, since that's your golden place?
Okay, so the thing about the Bonnaroo lineup, to preface, for years now, I've been saying that regardless of the lineup, it's still Bonnaroo, and I would go to Bonnaroo regardless of the lineup just because of the vibe. And this year I really got that test of whether or not I'm interested in going. Let me just put it that way. The lineup is extremely disappointing, and I don't think that's like a... I think I don't really know what to think of Bonnaroo in the future after this, because, maybe it's time to move on. This is my 4th year. Maybe it's not my time to move on. I feel like every year I go to Bonnaroo, I say this will be my last year, and it never is because, it's always a beautiful time. But, I've been treating Bonnaroo like a holiday, and, and there's been Christmas. There was always Christmases when you were a kid, and you didn't get everything you wanted. And, this time around, but, regardless, it's still Christmas, and that's basically how I'm feeling about Bonnaroo this year. I really did not get any. The only lineup choice that I knew was going to be there, I knew Chance the Rapper was going to be there. I mean, that was so obvious.
And that'll be dope.
Yeah, no, and I'm very, very excited for his headlining slot.
There's a few other ones that's going to be cool.
Yeah, like Car Seat Headrest will be great, and
yeah.
No Name will be sick. The lineup, the XX, I've been hearing a lot about.
The new album's pretty dope.
Yeah, and I have friends who are super pumped about the lineup. Like my friend Melissa Green and my other friend Jenna Shelton, they seemed very excited about it when it was announced. So, it's all about community. Like last year, I was not excited for Haim, but due to their excitement, I randomly got excited to see Haim. And then it ended up being a pretty good show, I'm not the biggest fan of Haim, but it's all about community there, and that's really, as long as the positive vibes are there, I don't think Bonnaroo will ever go wrong with the environment, which is truthfully what is worth all that money, just being there 5 days of just happiness and positivity and really having nothing on your mind other than let's get to the show, let's find some weed, let's hang out, and the lineup, though, pure shit. I'm sorry. When you have rumors all year about Arcade Fire was a huge one, Radiohead was a big one, Bon Iver, Anderson .Paak, Death Grips, Modest Mouse, St. Vincent. You have all these awesome, rumors, and then you come out with U2, I'm actually pretty excited for that, because Joshua Tree,
that'll be it.
Yeah, I gave that album a listen, and I actually kind of liked it. Like, I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of... Yeah, U2's Joshua Tree is a pretty good album, so that live is going to be great.
30 years old.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, that's just going to be... I mean, no one can deny that Red Hot Chili Peppers is going to be a good old time. Even though I don't, love the Red Hot Chili Peppers by any means, I know, probably their whole set list just due to what they've played on the radio all these years. They're fucking... classic
True,
dudes.
They're a classic band.
Yeah, they're going to be fantastic. And the Weeknd will probably even be cool. I'm kind of excited for that. I liked a few Weeknd songs, like when they were coming out, So Chance the Rapper's who I'm mainly excited for, but all in all, the Bonnaroo lineup.
Isn't No Name playing?
Yeah, No Name is playing.
Yeah,
so that'll
that's
be
gonna
sweet.
Be a dope set.
Yeah, and Car Seat Headrest. I don't know if you've listened to that album a lot.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, that show's going to be cool. And there's a few other acts, obviously, that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but, very underwhelming. Very, very underwhelming, especially when they needed to bring the heat this year. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Coachella's lineup. Coachella's lineup, no one can deny it's a masterpiece. I mean, the Coachella lineup is. I mean, I hate Coachella. I would never go to Coachella, but I mean, look at their lineup for like 3 minutes and you're already like, you don't even have to delve into it deep before you know that that's just a kick-ass lineup this year. I mean,
kick-ass.
Like Bon Iver, Radiohead, like, it's just everything that I could ever want in a concert. Like, I mean, it's literally David's wet dream happening on a stage.
New Kickstarter, get Baby Dave to Coachella.
Well, no, I don't want to go Coachella because...
No, you can blow it up afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, Coachella is lame.
You can go enjoy it and then, like, piss on a sign and
be
like, woo!
Yeah, I'll piss on something. I always end up doing that, even at festivals that I don't hate, I always piss on something, Yeah. But, yeah, man, it's, the Bonnaroo lineup. I can't really say that this new company that took over is doing a good job with it. I think they need to put the heart back in it because it's almost, I mean, as blatant as it is that the government is siding with Big Pharma, it's just as blatant that Bonnaroo's trying to funnel in those hundreds of bucks from teenage kids who are just looking to wear, just the typical hipster who lives in, I mean, like, I don't know. They're just trying to appeal to the wrong people, and it sucks because there's a huge following to that festival that really look at it for the right reasons that aren't EDM and getting drunk and taking Molly and whatever, I don't know.
I feel you, man.
But it'll be I mean, no matter what, it'll be a great time. I have good people going down there with me. We have a solid lineup of people ourselves going down there, as people. So no matter what, it'll be a good time, But
all right.
But hey, man, thanks for having me on the show.
Well, shit, man. Hey, no, thank you for being on, buddy. I love these little quick quips.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Correspondence by David Beck.
Oh, hell yeah, man. From Pittsburgh, PA. I'll be corresponding.
Pittsburgh, PA to New York. I want to get like David on the street, Beck on the street.
Yeah, dude, I'll do an on the street series. I would love to start interviewing local bands around here. I just don't have any reason to do it, except for your podcast. So
that's true.
You give me the word, man. I'll start doing interviews. I'd love that.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you so much for being on. Keep on keeping on with Portrait People. We're excited to see it. It's in my. If you listen to the last episode, it's in my anticipated albums. Anything Portrait People releases this year is in my anticipated.
Well, thanks, man.
Of course. Thanks so much, man.
All right, dude. I'll see you later, man.
Go pet your kitties.
See you, dude.
See you. Jeez, what a great kid. Or a young man, I guess. He's not really a kid anymore. He is a young man. I love talking to David Beck. There will be David on the street. Don't worry. We're going to get that correspondence going. Thank you, everybody. That's all I got, I think. I'm going to end the show. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew, Laurel, everybody involved, all the listeners. Go out there. Listen on iTunes. Listen on Stitcher. On YouTube. Share it. Care about it. Whatever. Go listen to the new Bonobo. Amazing. And the new XX is really good. And go pick up a vinyl at Goodwill. And I don't know. Listen to music. Spread love. And have a good day. I'll talk to you guys Friday. Hit it, baby Dave.